healthy diet. There's really no such thing as a fad diet. Just like your mom taught you, you're supposed to have multiple colors on that plate. You know, try to eat an apple instead of a piece of cake. We're just really thinking about making those conscious decisions because we know that obesity is a growing problem, right? So obesity causes diabetes, it causes hypertension, and it also can cause liver failure, and just so on and so on and so on. So just taking those little steps by making those healthy decisions, and that starts when you're younger. You know, it tastes a lot better to eat a candy bar than it does an apple, but it's just making that conscious decision. And then exercising. So it doesn't have to be going to Lifetime Fitness or Gold's Gym. Just going out, walking your dog, going out, making a family activity, going to the park, riding bikes, doing fun things, and making sure. So we have many studies that show 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise per day, at least 5 times a week, can really decrease your risk of cardiovascular disease, breast cancer, and just making you much more of a heart healthy, okay? And then lifestyle. This is something, as a physician, we know all these things, but to actually have a healthy mind and take that time to, whether it's praying in the morning, meditating to yourself, but actually having that time to de-stress. Because our stress level, we have constant input at all times. We have cell phones, we have computers, we have TVs, we have the news. We maybe just turn the TV off and just getting back to you and figuring out what do you need, finding that inner peace. And that's something that I even struggle with, but it's something I've started to incorporate every morning, whether that be drinking my coffee, but actually, how many of us get our coffee and then take it with us? We really should sit down, drink your coffee, drink whatever your routine is that morning, and kind of start your day with a peaceful mind. So that's, again, the mind and the body are definitely, if one is sick, the other one's definitely not going to get better. So like I said, spirit's here, but let's work on everything else. So any questions so far? Everybody good? So this is more of the detection. What are we supposed to do, okay? So as women, we know mammograms. Everyone has a fear of getting a mammogram. We're really good at it. Paul, they should not hurt, right? So I think, 20 years ago, they tried to squeeze and push you and make it really, the ladies here are phenomenal. So mammograms, we have screening mammograms. You can come in, and you'll see them, and everyone will reach out are great about getting out in the community. But that's the earliest detection. And being your own advocate, right? So doing breast exams, monthly breast exams. If you feel something or you don't think something is feeling normal, ask your doctor, ask your friend, say, hey, what does this feel bad to you? Don't ever be scared. I don't know how many women I see in my office that they're like, I knew something was there, but I didn't want anyone to think bad about me or be like, how'd you miss this? Who cares? Just ask. It's your body. You want to be there for your kids and your grandkids. You want to be there for your church family. So making sure that you can and we have free screening mammograms that is all available, right? So those really start at the age of 40 unless you have a family history. And that's something you can ask your doctor. We know we start earlier if you're high risk. So if you say, hey, my aunt had breast cancer, my grandma had breast cancer, you should probably be talking to your family doctor about, hey, should I start screening earlier, okay? And then as far as colonoscopies, so that goes to the gentleman in the room as well. So at the age of 50, a recommendation is that we should all get colonoscopies, right? Colon cancer is one of the most preventable diseases that we have out there. We can sometimes we detect it early and get rid of it without having a big surgery, and you don't have to come meet me in my office. Unless you have a family history, and that's what that asterisk is there for. If, say your dad had colon cancer at 45, then you should probably get your colonoscopy 10 years prior to that, okay? So again, these are something, you're saying, my doctor never told me about that, but again, we all be empowered to shine, right? So we want to be empowered of our own health to be like, hey, my dad had cancer really early, what should I be doing, all right? So being your own advocate. And then as far as that, back to the ladies, going to your OBGYN. Getting pelvic exams, making sure everything's okay. We know that ovarian cancer and uterine cancer is also, it can be prevalent, so just making sure you stay up on those recommendations. And they change regarding what surgeries you've had as well. And then another little thing that's kind of not in my realm, but it's something that I look at as a surgeon, and I know that we have in North County, is diabetes and high blood pressure, right? So that's increase in the African American population. So checking your blood sugars, going into the Walmart or the Walgreens where they check it. If you know it's elevated, the last thing you want to do is be in my office for end-stage renal disease and have a dialysis. I'm sure we all know someone that's on dialysis, and it's just a life-altering disease. So taking your medication, checking your A1C, again, putting that cake down, getting the apple, going for a walk. So even if you do a cake, and I have the biggest sweet tooth, and I kid that I married an elf, my husband can eat candy all day long, but you have to, as soon as you eat, go out and just take a walk, make it a family thing, or go out, go to church, just be active after you eat, and that definitely that lowers your sugar, it increases your insulin, and so that's your body's own mechanism of helping you get healthier. And then the last portion, so again, I said I wasn't going to talk too much, let's see, maybe. It says we're over. No, here we go. Oh. Is your management. So we know that visiting your doctor at least once a year, so you really should start that at the age of 30 and then getting a physical. And then for A1C, that should be checked every 3 months. Blood pressure should be checked every 3 months. And then following up with those medications. I had a gentleman that I saw in office last week. He thought his legs were swelling, so he started taking his wife's diuretic medication. And so he came in, not only was his labs really low, but he was very, very sick. We had to put him in the ICU. And it was he said, well, it works for my wife's swelling legs. And I'm like, yeah, but that's her medication. So it's one thing if you use your siblings' ibuprofen, but when you use their hypertensive medicine, it was a very serious thing. And he thought he was doing the right thing, but definitely, that was a serious complication. So asking your doctor, and I have patients come in all the time, they're like, oh, I have questions, or I'm afraid to ask my questions. So I grew up on a farm, came from a family of no doctors, so if I talk over my patients, that is a failure to me. So I take it very much to heart whenever I ask my parents or my grandparents, hey, what'd your doctor say? And they say, I don't know. And I'm like, what? This was your appointment. You're supposed to know what they said. And so that's what we need to do, and as a medical community, we should really strive to making sure when you walk out the door, you know why you're taking your medicine, what you're taking it for, and how the next time you have your homework, right? So that the next time you come in, you're a better person, right? Empowered to shine. So we want to make sure that you feel comfortable asking your physicians, hey, why am I taking this? You gave me this medicine 2 months ago and it didn't work. So make sure you always ask. And I think we're a society where we are asking questions. We are much more empowered to be healthy and take charge of ourselves. But don't ever feel like you can't ask. And if you do feel like you can't ask your physician that, you should probably get a new physician, right? And so they're probably not that person for you. And then just monitoring your blood pressure, making sure doing that homework, making it part of your routine, checking your glucose, stepping on the scale like once a week, regardless if we like it or not. Nobody likes it. But taking those, nothing's better when you put a dress on and it's a little bit loose. So just trying to remember that you like those little wins, right? And again, we're very keeping up with the Joneses society, right? We want the newest iPhone, the best car, the nicest clothes. But the actual greatest wealth is our health, right? You only get one life to live. So you got to make sure that, if your spirit's with it, but your mind's not, it's not gonna be good. And we want to keep you here on earth as long as possible and have you the healthiest person as you can be. So I told you I was pretty quick. I'm a fast talker. Sorry. But is there any questions? Here's your time. I'm pretty much an open book, and I ask. And a little bit more about what we do. My office is here. I take care of patients with breast cancer, colon cancer, skin cancer. I do hernias, gallbladders, pretty much lumps and bumps, hemorrhoids, and pretty much everything from what my nurses say, butts to guts. So there's really not much that I don't do, but it's something I enjoy. That's what yes. Oh yes, and robot. That's like my baby, and I didn't even remember. So I'm also a minimally invasive surgeon. So if you ask a kindergartner, which is going to hurt worse, incision this big or incision this big? It's going to be the little incision, right? So I feel like when I first came here that we were a little bit behind the ball as far as general surgery, because we have fabulous surgeons, but we were kind of doing it, and my partners love when I say this, old school techniques, meaning big incisions. Everyone would get the right surgery, but maybe they were not able to get back on the basketball court or get back to work or doing their job till about 4 to 6 weeks. So I kind of brought in, as far as general surgeon, what is called laparoscopic or robotic surgery. So I mean small poke holes, and then you can get back. So my passion is doing hernia repair. And nothing's better. I had this adorable guy, I think he was 88, and he said, "You're gonna do that fancy stuff on me?" I'm like, "Yeah, you gotta get back to your garden." And I mean, it really, he said, I didn't take any of those pain medicines. I took ibuprofen, and I was in my garden in 2 days. And that's really what we want, right? It's still the right care, but just getting you back to baseline and getting you back to life. So that's kind of my baby here. I also really, as a female, I really like doing breast cancer. One of my partners, he takes the majority of our breast cancer patients, but providing care for women and kind of being able to talk to them about that. We do, again, minimally invasive surgery here, just like, even though we're in North County, we still compete with Barnes and Mercy and all the big hospitals. It's a phenomenal hospital here, and we have really good providers. If anything were to happen to me or my family, I'd be very comfortable coming here, and I would. So with that,